So let's have a look into the deep in the embryology of the Down syndrome. So Down syndrome is usually caused by an error in the cell division, which is called as non-disjunction. Non-disjunction results in the embryo with the three copies of chromosome 21 instead of usual two copies. This can occur either in a sperm or in egg, and a pair of 21st chromosome fails to separate from the egg or the sperm. So in this baby, during the ultrasound, I have extract the previous data from the previous hospital. The previous doctor, she was alarmed because in the womb she saw the following features, which were all suggestive of the Down syndrome. For example, excessive skin at the back of the neck, small head, ears, and mouth, which is associated with the moderate congenital heart disease. And these all symptoms in womb were suggestive of the Down syndrome. So this was the non-disjunction that I have been talking about. You can see that this is a normal cell in which we have kinetochores, we have chromosomes, we have microtubules, and these are the two phases that have been described in it. One is the metaphase, the other is the anaphase. In the metaphase, we have the kinetochores and the chromosomes and the microtubules, and they are present in the pairs of copies. Then, when the proper disjunction occurs in the anaphase, you can see that the every pair of the chromosome have a pair of chromosomes. But in the non-disjunction, instead of um, 46 chromosomes, they have 47 chromosomes, and the copies become from 2 to 3. That's why this is also called as trisomy 21. Let's look into the physiology of the Down syndrome. Down syndrome is a genetic disorder that is caused when abnormal cell division results in an extra full or partial copy of chromosome 21. This extra genetic material causes the developmental changes and physical features of Down syndrome. So, some physical or the typical facial features of the people with Down syndrome include a flat face, a small broad nose, abnormally shaped ears, a large protruding tongue, upward slanting eyes, with small folds of skin in the corner. So, Down syndrome varies in severity among the individuals, causing lifelong intellectual disability and developmental delays. It is the most common genetic chromosomal disorders and causes of the learning disabilities in children. It also commonly causes other medical abnormalities, including the heart and the GI disorders. So, let's look into the pathophysiological effects of the Down syndrome, which includes generalized anxiety, obsessive compulsive behaviors, then the regression with the decline and loss of cognitive and the social skills, chronic sleep difficulties, fatigue, and mood related problems. There is another thing in the pathophysiology which is called as manifestations. So about 5% of the patients with the Down syndrome, they have GI manifestations, including the duodenal atresia and the celiac disease and the Hirschsprung disease. Many patients with trisomy 21, they have otolaryngeal manifestations that include the hearing loss and the recurrent ear infections. And about 60% of patients, they have ophthalmic manifestations. This is really important to know. So let's get into the epidemiology of the Down syndrome, which is extremely important to know. The incidence of the Down syndrome is estimated to be about 1 in every 1,000 births. In United States, it is estimated that about 6,000 babies are born each year with Down syndrome, which means 1 in every 700 babies has the condition. Okay, so let's get into the workup of the diagnosis of the Down syndrome, which includes the ultrasound, amniocentesis, and the chorionic villus sampling. So let us discuss in detail. In ultrasound, you will have the broad nose, small head, and the cardiac defects with the white spots in liver. In amniocentesis, it will examine the amniotic fluid, which is the fluid from the sac surrounding the baby. Then we have the last, which is called as chorionic villus sampling, which will examine the material from the placenta. And these are all the techniques which can able to diagnose the Down syndrome in the baby in utero when the mother has conceived and she is carrying the baby. At that time, you can easily diagnose this disease. So let us look into the histological findings in the lungs of the Down syndrome patients. So analysis in the lungs will include dilated airway, dilated lymphatics, confirmed increased interferon levels in the lung, airway smooth muscles was reduced, and significant reductions in the epithelial and the mesenchymal cells, as it is easily distinguished and understandable from the figure. So let's get into the treatment or the management of the Down syndrome. One thing has to be clear. That chromosome genetic condition Down syndrome cannot be cured. It could be only managed with the conservative treatment and with the medications. That's why I have invited the cardiologist, Dr. N, Dr. Andrew, the pediatricians, and myself so that we can manage this baby. So now can you able to connect that why I have taken so many doctors on board? Because this disease needs different doctors with different speciality. So the cardiologist, like Dr. N, she has taken care of James' heart and she has repaired the VSD. And Dr. Andrew, he is a pediatrician, and I am the genetic counselor of the baby. And the medications that include analgesics, this retinoid drug, antidiuretics that will help the baby. So, my friends, what is the easy way of remembering the Down syndrome? Here is an easy mnemonic which is called as MedFast. And you can easily see that what does the MedFast stands for. M stands for the mental retardation, E stands for the epicanthic folds, T stands for the duodenal atresia, F stands for the flattened facies, A stands for the atrioventricular septal defect, S stands for the Simon crease, and G stands for the gap between first and second toe. So here you can easily see and you can easily remember the Down syndrome by just memorizing MedFast. So here comes the genetic counseling session, which is the most important one and indeed the most difficult one as well. So let's go for it.
Hi, doctor. I am really worried about the future of my kid. But before that, I have a quick question.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
In our family, there is no kid with a similar situation. Why did it happen to us?
Yeah, Mr. Sham, it's a chromosomal related disease, and you have to understand this that it's not inherited. So, one of the factor that we came to know in your case is the maternal age. So, when the maternal age increases, like above 35 years, so the chances of the Down syndrome increases as well. That's the one of the factor.
Oh, okay, I understand that. My other questions also need to be addressed, like what kind of challenges we as parents have to face for my child in terms of health wise, development wise, and how we have to manage it.
Okay, Mr. Sham and Miss Ayla, every disease can be managed, so don't worry, all your issues will be addressed. The Down syndrome kids usually have delayed developmental skills in the milestones. For this purpose, we have doctors on board. Like I have introduced you with Dr. Cooper, who is the behavioral and speech therapist. He will assist you. And the little baby Jim, he will be all right because Dr. Cooper, he is best at it. Secondly, the gym's health issue, like we have talked about, VSD, it has to be fixed and gym has to go through a surgery. So you have to consult for that with Dr. N, and I have already introduced Dr. N to you. So don't worry, in this journey of yours, we are with you.
Thank you, doctor. We have little bit more understanding of our situation and we are less worried now. Thank you so much for your time.
So in last, everyone would like to know that what would happen to Jim in future. I will tell you that. But before that, I would like to take some people with Down syndrome who led a very successful life. And they are famous too. Like, for example, American actor singer Chris Burke, Spanish actor Tommy, Spanish actor Pablo. And you know what? He completed his first university degree. So, even with the Down syndrome, you can lead a very successful and a beautiful life. Now, what happens to Jim in the last? Jim is all satisfied, hoping for the best, enjoying his life, loving music, because you know what? This is a fact about the Down syndrome patients that they love music. So he is all set to go.